Hello and welcome to Handcrafted Me. I'm Sam and welcome to my channel. My New Year's resolution is to finally get this channel up and running, and so this is my attempt. Please be gentle with me. I'm sure as the year goes on my videos will improve, but today my video is about a 3D printer. So I bought the Ender Pro 3 and I had no idea at all about 3D printing when I bought it. So I filmed the process of opening the box, putting it together, and then a little bit of my journey in order to share with you guys. The reason I bought a 3D printer is because it was one thing that I haven't tried yet in the crafting world. Is it crafting? I'm not sure at this stage, but I'll certainly utilize it for my crafts. And so far, so good. So let's start. So let's get this opened. Just gonna check and see if there's anything else. No, so that was relatively well packaged. Well, we'll soon find out if it's working, but it seemed pretty good going packaging wise. So we are left with a few fiddly things. I've never bought something like this before where I've had to put it together, so I guess this feels a little bit intimidating, I'm not gonna lie, but there we have it. Oh, and also I wasn't sure whether it would come with any of the filament, so I bought some, but it does. Here we go. So the instructions are as I suspected because of the research beforehand, that it is going to be pretty much like putting together Lego, and so it's a step-by-step Lego style instructions. I don't know whether that's a good thing or not, but I love putting together Lego, so hopefully for me that will be enough. So this is going to be the second attempt at printing. Hopefully we won't be too close this time. Here we go. So nope. Okay, so putting it together wasn't too bad actually. It took me about 2.5 hours to put together, 2.5 hours. Some of that was because my son wanted to help me at some stages of the process, and that's not a problem. I don't mind him doing it. Also, because the instructions were very sort of like, well, they were just picture based, there was a bit where I thought, I'm not really sure whether it needs to go one way or the other, and because I've never done anything like this before, I went to YouTube, put in the make and model of the 3D printer, and then put what stage of the instructions I was stuck on, and there are loads and loads of videos of people that have filmed each step along the way. So if you don't want to do the instructions via what you've received, there's loads of resources out there, so that was really handy. So the process of putting it together was fine. I think I was just a little bit too scared and a little bit careful actually. The next step obviously was making sure that it was all set up and level. The parts that came that were already put together were causing it to shake. It wasn't steady, so I had to loosen some of that up, tighten that up, and then it was a steady eddy after that, so no problem. Another thing is leveling it. So like leveling the bed is the most important stage. So Google that, work out what is going to suit your 3D printer, and take your time on that. So I think because I tried to rush into it, I made a couple of mistakes. I was trying to adjust it, as you've seen in the videos, trying to adjust it as we're going along, and it didn't really work. So I just should have stepped back a little bit, maybe done it the following day, and gave that a little bit more time at the start. That being said, I only made 3 mistakes, like 3 prints that weren't right, and I caught them really early doors, which was good as well. So my tip is, don't rush into it, do a bit of research, and enjoy it as well, but keep an eye on it. Like, don't think, right, I've sent it all, I'm going to go off. Keep an eye on those first few layers of the PLA, because that's the time where it's most likely to go wrong as well. Another tip is the bed heating. Putting this together actually really helps you understand the process a little bit better than if it was just out of the box onto it. But the bed heating is really important. So I turned the heating up of the nozzle, like the heat of where it comes out of the nozzle, because it's similar to a glue gun basically. So you get the hard plastic, it goes through, it melts, and it comes out, and then it sort of like dribbles. I'm sure anyone that's really technical would have been mortified with me explaining it like that, but that's basically it. It's like the glue going through a glue gun and melting. So that has to be at the right temperature because you have to have the right consistency, but also the bed has to be the right temperature. If that's not warm enough, then that bottom layer isn't going to stick to the bed, and you need that to stick to the bed, especially with the bigger projects that you're doing. So I had 3 little disasters. Here's a picture, and it just didn't go well. And then I thought, right, okay, now I've got this down, let's try a bigger project. So go big or go home is my motto, and so this was the first proper print that we did. I'm really happy with it, actually. I think it looks epic. This is for my son. My kids are really into Star Wars, so this was it. This was a free design. I'll put a link to this really brilliant website which has got free designs on it. I'll also put a link to the designer of this to credit them for their fantastic work. But this also helped me learn an awful lot about printing, because you probably haven't noticed yet, but his hand is not there. So can you see? Now the reason his hand isn't there, and it looks like spaghetti instead, and it looks a bit like spaghetti there, is because I didn't know that you need supports. And so the printer, if you get the slicing software, will add some supports onto it. I'll also put a link to the slicing software that I've used. So basically you get a design from one bit of software, so 3D design. If you want to start off creating your own, Tinkercad is good for that. That's what my children have used at school. And then that software has to be transferred over to a slicing piece of software that basically slices it into layers, and you put in what your machine is and it does all the rest. Hit the setting for the supports, and then it will print off the supports. So here's a video of me printing a cat, and you'll see that around it, so this is the cat here, and when it's printing, there's supports here and here in this video here. So the supports are quite important because it can't print the hand or anything else that's sort of like, because it's got nothing to stand it on. Because it goes layer, it needs to stand on something. So that was a learning curve for me, and that was the first proper print I did. And my kids are still happy with it because they don't care about the hand. I have done a little pen holder shaped as a cat for my daughter, and then I really wanted to sort of see size wise what I can do. So as I've said before, I'm a big fan of Lego, so these are my Lego flowers, and I have created a Lego vase. So this was also a free design from a website that I can't remember for the life of me what it's called now, but again, the link will be at the bottom. And it's also from Multicolored PLA. So I've tried different kinds of PLA. Bought these rolls, a pack of 4, and they've got different colours on there. One side is pink, one side is blue, and it's interesting to see how they print. That's multicolour, so it's more one side is green, one side is blue, not quite what I thought it would print like. And then because we hit the ground running, I was looking at how to create my own stuff, because of course that's what I want it for. And my son said, oh, I use Tinkercad at school to learn about 3D shapes. So I said, oh great, this is what I want to create. And he made this for me, which I'm pretty happy. So that's obviously my business name, and it's just a little triangle, but I can put that on the shelf when I'm selling my products and people can see what my company name is. Might even include it in photos, so that's quite handy. Overall, I'm really impressed by this machine. The only downside is it prints really slowly, and I think any sort of hobbyist type 3D printing machine is going to be the same, so I don't think it's specific to this. If you slow down the print, it's more accurate, so don't try and rush through anything because it's just going to end up in a disaster. But it would be great if it was just faster. This 3.5 hours to print. This 19 hours. So of course I left it to run overnight and set an alarm because I'm still a bit nervous about that, of what time roughly it would finish, and then I got up so I could turn the machine off. Many people just let it run, so once the first few layers working, leave it run, just check on it every now and again. But I think because I'm still new to this, I watch it very closely. So yeah, I mean, relatively inexpensive. It's inexpensive to run. This is Dennis. Relatively inexpensive to buy, so it's 240 British pounds, which I think is far less than what I thought it was going to be. So they've come down significantly in price. The filament is like 20 quid for a big roll of it. That would make an awful lot. Haven't quite worked out how much it's cost me in electricity, because I'm quite conscious that at the moment electricity is very expensive. It's running for 19 hours, but I still think it's quite minimal, like, you know, a quid, 2 quid for a print for the electricity, if that, from what I've worked out so far. But, you know, like I say, I haven't properly worked it out. I think it's going to be a great addition, like really good addition. It is better than I thought it would be. So yeah, really happy. Hopefully this has been of use to you guys. I'm going to do more reviews and go through things a little bit slower than some other YouTube videos do. So this is my first one. I hope it explains it a little bit well, and if you've got any questions about starting off in the 3D printing world, then add a comment, drop me a line. I'm more than happy to try and help, but please bear in mind I'm also a beginner myself. And thank you for watching. See you next time.